Okay, now let's get into some activity from now on. Okay, now this will start formulating your basis for your digital asset and deriving a business plan by the end of Rise 1. Okay, now to do that, first is if you see your screen, right, the definition is put again for you to understand what you're trying to do. Your passion should solve the problems, right? And then talk about the playbook. Playbook, if it is not been downloaded and not filled in, again, I request is please do that first for the people who have not done it before you start doing this activity. Okay, because if one doesn't align with the other, your subsequent steps might not be as aligned or might not give the right outcome that they're supposed to do. Okay, with that said, let's jump into those two topics. I'm starting with the left top. You see, you have clarify your message, right? So this is once you go through the playbook, you would have clarified your own message to yourself, and by the series of steps and the methodical approaches that we did earlier, right? In finding your niches, your micro niches, your super niches, getting the design thinking principles in place to start thinking in the direction of what digital assets best works for you by doing certain experimentation and creating an MVP, right? Now, with that said, your next step, right? So from that point of view, should be also a core message which is for yourself, right? Your larger goal. You remember the goal card that you have should be the message to yourself, and you have to push yourself to get there. And I hope you guys have started doing the 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 entire digital kit process that we discussed earlier, right? You're listening to them, you're seeing things in front of you, you put some stickers and placards in front of you so that your motivation continues the way it is. Right? Those are human principles. Please continue with your mindset. Now, with that said, your personal representation. Right? Uh, think of yourself, right? Look at the mirror, think of yourself. What is the future that you want for you and for your family? And what is that you yourself as a person want to become? Right? Now, if I have to talk about myself, I perceive myself as becoming a monk and hence the pyramid top to be a monk, right? I want to see that in everybody. I know you don't know the monk. I want to leave it as suspense for now, right? For people who have read my book, they know already. But for people who haven't, right? Let's wait for the right moment. But that is what I want to see myself as, okay, with the right personas, and that's also my friends. The future, the future is looking at at the monk behavior. Now, that said, everybody has their own respective way of looking at things. So get your persona out there the way you want it and how you want to perceive yourself, because that will help you derive your subsequent steps. That is, you will create your logo accordingly. Right? If you see, we have three logos. I have Soul. You see, Soul is a simple logo which talks about how we want others to rise along with it. Right? So that is Soul. We have the Rise Digital Hub. It talks about strong pillar, right, and a bird which wants to fly free. And then it is my logo. It is fancy of sorts, but this has to be in a script format saying that I am signing for it and I believe in it. Right? So similarly, create your own persona, create your own logo. Now there are some sites which are given which can give you these free of cost and you can derive it on your own. Right? People who are adventurous and know these things can of course upgrade themselves, maybe pay a little bit of money and start using it more discreetly. For others who don't want to get into this, you can look at an agency who can do this for you, and there's Fiverr.com, right? Where you can find somebody, give them your inputs, and they will come back to you in a day or two's time at a very minimal cost, right? So you can choose the level of cost that you want to also. So please create your logos, right? Set up your blog, right? Choose a URL in your name, like I have my name.com. You can. And for people who don't know how to do this, right? There is enough out there in the YouTube to do this. If not, then please put this up in the inner circle and we show a practical way of doing these things, right? But the most simplest way anybody would know is go to any of these hosting sites, right? In India, the usual ones are GoDaddy.com. There's whois.com, right? And there are several others out there which can be used. I can recommend a few, right? I have a few of them in GoDaddy.com. I think that could be easier for everybody because they're putting a data center in India as well, right? Which will facilitate 24/7 kind of operation for global customers, and they have their data centers all over the world. So I think that is a good approach because it's easier to be in one entity and keep on doing things. So do that at the earliest. Create a social profile in all the websites mentioned there, right? Basically, depending on your niche and the asset that you intend creating, right? I don't do this too much on Insta and other places, right? I have in almost most of them, but uh, it again depends on personal choices. So please choose accordingly, right? It's good, it's more the merrier in this case, right? The social media is more the merrier. So please choose your social profiles accordingly and how you want people to perceive you as well. And I have a more corporate approach, so it has been corporate all the while. Now I'm dwelling myself into FB and the others of the world, right? Because personas are different over there, and that's what our attempt is also. So it's your discretion on this, right? Define your funnel. This will come eventually, right? Once you see your feedback come into play, right? So the funnel typically comes when you have an audience or a following, right? That comes into play. But to do that, you should grow your influence by joining various public sites. Okay. Uh, Now, how you can do that is join these communities in FB and in follow certain subscriptions in YouTube, or get into various other forums within Twitter and LinkedIn and the others, where you can share your thoughts a little bit and get some feedback on your thoughts as well. Right? Once you do that, okay, the previous part, which is grow your influence, comes into existence. Start publishing certain material in terms of once you know the copy is right for you, or the vlog is right for you, or the blog is right for you, right? So go about publishing those elements so that you get some feedback. You start understanding yourself better in case you've not started that journey already, right? Okay, this is coming from the novice perspective. This is the way it will be perceived for a pro as well as a master will be very completely different. Okay, so they would have done all this several times over already and already moved on with this. This is for people who know novices, right? So who want help in this space. But this is essential for you to get to next level, right? For all. Okay, then you analyze the results. I just mentioned the fact that once you start publishing your stuff, you'll get some input, and you take that, right? Watch at, see where you're going wrong, right? Maybe the first courseware that you put in as an MVP is not the one that you think after doing all this is not the right one. Still, go through that churn again, put the right one as you're getting more feedback through, right? So if that's what's mentioned, right? Fail fast if you have to, right? But be in there for long duration. And of course, the normal principles of work hard smartly and then be perseverance, etc. Watch your digital kit every day of your life. That will survive you through this whole mode in case you're a novice, because pros and the masters would have already moved on with all this and they surpassed that stage already. So do that, right? So this is the challenge you guys have right now, right? If you've not downloaded, download the playbook, fill it up, and fill this template through and be ready for the next one. Okay, this will bring it closer to the day 2. I'll see you in day 3 with all your preparations done in day 2. And please come prepared because now it will get more intense as slowly as we go deeper into it. Okay, all the best, guys. I'll see you on the other side.